Welcome to Ouch. Was that a ghost? This podcast may contain graphic material, which some listeners may find disturbing. Listener discretion is advised.
Help me.
Now that we covered that, here's your host,
I'm pumped.
Liss.
Because I always get excited when I record with you. So it's always a good time. Woo! So we're winging it today. For the norm. We wing it a lot, I've decided. And I found some interesting stuff here. Again, it's back in Hippo Eats Dwarf. Aside from apparently there's some water or something going on with my book. But that doesn't affect the quality of what's inside. So we went ahead and just picked that. And I know some people are a little finicky about certain topics. It just kind of grosses them out. So men, ahead of time, get over yourselves. It'll be fine. You don't have to experience this the way that we have to experience it, for starters. And it kind of worked out because there's been a lot of people around me that have been finding out that they are housing a mini somebody inside of their bodies.
You better be careful. You might catch it.
No, it hates us. Like, it literally just like stopped it. It was like, internet is unstable. I was like, you rapscallion. So again, Hippo Eats Dwarf, and we are in reality rule 1.6 is where we're starting. There's going to be a couple rules that we're going to cover because they are shorter, but they're definitely just as interesting as the ones before. And it is, when seeking medical advice about birth, it's better to rely on a doctor than a backroom miracle worker.
All right.
Which sounds sketchy, right? Like that backwoods or back door. Wow. So we have, like always, there's usually like a little vocab mixed in with kind of the stories and all of that. So our word here is hysterical pregnancy, which is a noun, and it says a medical condition in which a woman falsely believes she is pregnant, sometimes to the point of developing pregnancy symptoms. Like, swear that you're pregnant, but you take a test and everything's negative. Or I've even heard of people even gaining weight, like they look pregnant.
I've heard of this, and I've seen people that this has happened to.
Yeah, like they look pregnant, they act pregnant, they go in for a screen and nothing. And I can't even.
I think that's purely psychological, though, isn't it? And it's just like,
Yeah,
you think it's so hard. But it's bizarre that it can mess with your hormones and stuff and like stop your periods and do all that. Like, you have that much power in your brain. The brain is insane.
yeah. I was just talking to somebody the other day. I was like, our bodies can handle some stuff.
For real.
Like, I know of a person who their brain was messed up, obviously. And I would say, oh, yeah, normal's different for every person. But no, there was something very wrong here. This person literally took a table saw and cut their own hands off and one of their feet.
What?
Yeah, and survived.
You know this person?
Not personally, but I do know it was 100% a real person, and it really happened. It was so bizarre.
I don't even know what to say to that.
And from what I gathered, they were able to reattach the appendages all but like one.
Did the nerves still work? Like, did they connect them?
I don't know. They went to a different location that was better suited for that type of trauma.
Imagine the pain. And then to continue on to the next appendage. Like,
For me, it's not only imagine the pain and you are doing it to yourself. Not like someone's forcing you or anything like that, where you don't have a choice. It's happening regardless. I mean, you literally have the gusto to continue to do it to yourself. At any point, you could stop and you continue to do it.
why?
It was their version of wanting to leave this realm.
That just seems like such a harder way to do it.
Right? But I was like, how did they survive?
Your body's funny too, because you can go into shock, but the blood loss is still blood loss. Like, it's good.
Exactly.
I don't know.
But I guess they were getting blood pumped into them like the whole time, and it it was just bizarre. But anyway, back to babies.
That's a segue.
Right? With death comes life is the way I look at it. We'll put it that way.
Okay.
So this one's labeled Miracle Birth. And it says, during the summer of 2004, hundreds of Muslims flocked to West German University Clinic to see a woman who had given birth to Allah's chosen son. It says their source for this information, a rumor posted on a Turkish internet site, because that sounds reliable. They had read it online, so of course it had to be true, right?
Right.
So the woman was said to have been burned across her entire body except for her tatas while giving birth and to have died from all of the wounds. She had then been buried, but was dug up when someone realized that Allah had brought her back to life so that she could breastfeed the Messiah for 40 days before dying again.
What?
This is already so weird. This is just the beginning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The staff at the German clinic were at first confused, then amused, and then frightened by the steady stream of pilgrims. Some had traveled all the way from the Netherlands to come see the spectacle. Eventually, the clinic hired extra security to turn away pilgrims who refused to believe that there really, truly was no one there matching the description of Allah's chosen son and his mother. This case illustrates that this is supposedly an age of science and reason, but also an age of faith. And many people are quite willing to believe miraculous supernatural forces can intervene directly with the process of birth. So that's one case, supposedly. But it also is already instigating already insinuating that there's no evidence, right? There's nobody here by that description. All these people are showing up and they're trying to get rid of them. So at least that one's not really holding a lot of water to start with, because that would be pretty far-fetched. I'm still just like, oh, well, everybody believes their own thing. But oddly enough, in 2004, also saw the bizarre case of Archbishop Gilbert Dea and his holy ghost babies.
Gilbert Dea
I'm just going to leave that pause there, let that sit.
and his holy
Ghost babies.
All right.
This self-styled archbishop, he gave himself that, name, which means that he's probably a psychopath at this point, right? Because that's what serial killers do. They give themselves their own names.
Right before you start a cult, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Sorry, people. Goodness. All right. But anyway, so he convinced numerous female followers in Britain that they had been impregnated by Jesus. He then whisked these women away to Kenya, where they gave birth in a backstreet clinic.
Oh my gosh.
There was just one problem. Most of the women were either postmenopausal or infertile.
Stop it.
Furthermore, the Holy Ghost babies had developed within their wombs in record-breaking time. Dea helped one 56-year-old woman give birth 13 times in 3 years. That's about one baby every 3 months. But the really bizarre thing was that the living, screaming, kicking babies did appear at the end of the rapid-fire pregnancies. So where were they coming from?
He was definitely stealing babies. It's like what is it? We talked about it earlier before the episode, the Mary Toff situation when they were sneaking bunny parts.
Yep.
He's going to an orphanage or wherever and stealing babies and being like, here's another one.
Yeah, so it says the Kenyan government had an explanation. They accused Dea of baby trafficking, you're right there, gathering up infants in the slums of Kenya and depositing them into the hands of British women. Strangely, the women appeared unaware of the illegality or deception. Their desire to give birth was so strong.
No.
Well, hold on. It says their desire to give birth was so strong that they allowed Dea to convince them that they were pregnant.
You could be pregnant. You're not a bunny that sits there and births that quick.
Well,
you could be pregnant. That doesn't mean in 2 months you got to pop a kid out.
That's true. But my thing is, it's not like he was saying, oh, they were birthed. Here's a baby. He was convincing these women that they had been pregnant the whole time and were giving birth to their own babies. And isn't Kenya, I'm pretty sure babies in Kenya look a lot different than babies in Britain.
Yeah. And what do they have? The baby under the table? They're like, push, and tell the baby, shh.
Yeah, right?
Like, how does this even happen?
I don't know.
Lather the baby with some Kool-Aid to make it look like bloody.
It says a video of one of the quote unquote miracle birth shows a semi-conscious woman clearly unaware of what was happening, being handed a baby while quote unquote doctors cut an umbilical cord that looks suspiciously like a wire, which goes to show there's truly nothing people can't be made to believe if they want to believe it badly enough.
Oh my gosh.
So I guess it was get the women so altered mentally that like basically drug them
Mm-hmm.
and they're hallucinating this birth essentially. So it's like the ultimate gaslight, you know?
Cutting his shoelace, handing him a Cabbage Patch. That's hilarious.
Oh my God. I would have never in a million years thought of that. But it'd have to be a real baby for them to believe it when they're up, right?
Maybe he swaps it out after. They're still loopy. They don't know.
That is a good point. Because you'd have to time the stealing of the baby to match.
As he has a 5-year-old. Yeah, you just gave birth.
That's a big baby. Why does my baby have teeth and talks already? Oh my God, that's so gross. Can you imagine a baby coming out with a full set of teeth?
They do that on Instagram. Not Instagram. On Snapchat, they have all those filters that you can put them on like newborns, and they have like the teeth, and it just looks so. I don't know.
That's like cringeworthy.
Yeah, it's like uncanny valley. Like, no, just don't do it.
So gross. Well, anyway, so that was messed up enough. So then we're going to move on to reality rule 1.7. The internet is not a reliable source of information about babies or birth. It says reality check the fetal footprint. A photograph shows the outline of a fetus's foot pressing against the inner wall of the mother's stomach. Is the photo real or fake? Here, you can see that. See it
Mm-hmm.
on the top?
It looks like a horror movie. I've seen bulges come out when I was pregnant, but I never saw like a foot imprinted like that clearly. And I've felt them kicking on my bladder and everywhere else inside of me.
My son was so big and I was so short that when he would move, you would see like pieces, but I couldn't get a good view as to how far it was, like how detailed it was, but you could clearly tell that if there was a hand or a foot present.
Yeah, but the picture you just showed me outlined each individual toe of the baby's foot.
Exactly. So I guess we will find out.
All right.
So the photograph began circulating the internet in this is interesting, 2004. So apparently we had some interesting stuff going on in 2004. Its source remains a mystery, making it impossible to say with 100% certainty the image was real or fake. However, although women will often feel a belly bulge when the baby thrusts out a limb, the abdominal wall is simply too muscular and thick to allow a footprint to be seen with this clarity. The only way a fetal imprint could be seen in this way would be the rare case of an ectopic pregnancy, which sucks, which involves a fetus developing outside the uterus. Okay, that is really not making me feel any better about this me being fixed thing. So you're saying there's a chance.
But they can't make it to that size in an ectopic pregnancy, can they?
There are cases where women deliver babies that are outside the uterus.
Really?
Yep. 100%. Like I was actually just talking to some nurses at work the other day about this and how some of them are like in the abdomen.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was one case where the lady, so this is my joke. I'm horrible. But they were like, there was one, like it was growing in her chest. And so I said, well, which way did the sperm go in?
Oh my gosh.
I thought it was funny, but they really can. All it needs is to meet the egg and stick somewhere it can get nutrients.
I don't know why I thought that. I think of them as like when women have IUDs and it kind of pushes it off and then you can have that. But
so I've had 3
Oh.
of them. And the typical ectopic pregnancy is the fetus, the baby gets stuck inside the tube. And so when it gets stuck inside the fallopian tube, it doesn't stop growing. It continues to grow because it's getting nutrients and all of that. It grows slower, but it does continue to grow until eventually it explodes and you hemorrhage, and most of the time you die.
Oh, wow.
Like if you don't catch it early enough, it's got a pretty decent mortality rate. So yeah, so I had to be like under a magnifying glass or a microscope or whatever when I was pregnant. until we could find out if he was in the right spot. And usually it's like a fluke or there's like a one-off thing. So the fact that I had 3, like every time the doctors were like, this should not even happen. One, it shouldn't have happened the first time because nothing was wrong. I was perfectly healthy and I was young. Usually you see ectopic pregnancies when there's IUDs involved, like you said, or women that are older, like over the age of 40 that are having babies. But it's usually like one off and there's usually something that causes it. So the fact that I had one just out of nowhere was pretty uncommon.
All right.
Yeah, so this says, again, the fetus develops outside the uterus. It says this condition can be life-threatening for both mother and baby, and the photo does not appear to show an ectopic pregnancy, again, because it usually doesn't, like, hang out in the middle of nowhere. But in addition, the footprint seems disproportionately large for a fetus. Incorrect. I'm pretty sure my son's foot was about that size. I mean, he had some giant, like, clown feet when he came out, and he's still got some big old freaking feet. So that's that one. And then there's reality check. There's trampoline baby. And it says this photo shows an infant bouncing on a trampoline. Is it real or fake?
How old is that baby supposed to be?
It just says infant. I'd say 3 to 6 months.
The thing is, it could jump like that. Like if somebody else jumped next to it and then jumped right off the trampoline. You know what I mean? Like dad just jumped on there, gave a big leap, and then he went flying up. But I don't think the baby would do it by himself.
I concur. So it says, this is yet another odd picture you might encounter on the internet. In this case, the baby is 4-month-old Connor Simpson enjoying himself on a trampoline sometime in 2002. Oh man, they're 2 years early. Is the photo fake? It says, well, yeah. People who have experience with babies at all can guess that right away. Those with less baby experience, like me, waste hours trying to figure out how Connor could be doing that. We look for hidden wires or wonder if he was somehow tossed in the air. The solution is that Connor never had a trampoline adventure. He was photographed lying safely on a bed and then placed above a trampoline with a digital cut and paste magic. So Photoshop the shit out of that.
So the parents had print shop.
Yep. So that one was pretty short. Then we have the next reality check. Supermodel eggs for sale. Is there an internet site that allows infertile couples to bid for the eggs of supermodels? I would say this is probably true.
That sounds like it would be a thing. I feel like there would be a market for that.
Well, you can go, it's like a sperm bank. You can go and be like, I want daddy to have brown hair, blue eyes, 6'2". But yeah, something like that. But you could, it's not going to guarantee, but women used to do that. You could pick out, I want a lawyer, I want a doctor. I don't think that's genetic, but they think it did. It says all parents want their children to start life with very possible advantage. So wouldn't it be natural for infertile couples searching for an egg donor to pay premium dollar for eggs from donors with high status genetic advantages, such as extraordinary beauty? In fact, some couples advertise for donors with specific characteristics such as height, athleticism, and high SAT scores. But a site debuting on October 1999, RonsAngels.com took this practice to a whole new level, allowing couples to bid for eggs from supermodel donors. The New York Times thought the site was real and published a story warning of the new age of, commodification of human egg donation. But in reality, the site was an elaborate publicity stunt for an online photography business.
I'll bet if you went online now, you could probably find something like that. But then on the other end, you could get this online and it could be like, what was that doctor that owned the sperm bank? And he kept putting his own stuff in there.
Kids? Oh, that is, can't you imagine?
So you could have this woman at home that's like just pumping these things out and looks nothing like this.
Yeah, right. It comes out looking like a freaking hobbit instead of like a Amazon. I'm just, oh my gosh, I cannot even imagine being the parents of those children that guy did that with. I mean, this whole time thinking that your child is biologically your children.
Yeah, so you still love them, but it's really this creep that kept putting his stuff in everybody.
Yes.
Horrific.
And then think of the genetic abnormalities that could happen if these people don't know, and say for whatever chance they meet each other and they fall in love and they get married and have babies and they don't know that they're siblings.
Boom, 7 toes.
Yeah. And it comes out with a deformity. They're like, what the fuck's going on with us? Why can't we have like a normal child? And then they don't realize that they're related.
What do you always say? Incest is
Incest is best. Put your cousin to the test. So don't believe that. It's just something funny that my family has said for eons whenever we make fun of a small town that we are in. Okay. Just to clarify, not
All right.
happening. Oh my gosh, that's too much. I got a new vape. It's banana flavored. It's kind of weird. Not sure how I feel about it. All right. So I don't know how long we've been going, but I got one more here that we'll do. Reality rule 1.8.
Okay.
Dolls, no matter how lifelike, are neither human nor alive. The fact that they have to point that out is a little concerning to me. Like, baby dolls are not real.
Some of them looked pretty real, though. Do you see how good they make them now?
Some of them are pretty creepy. And if you're going in the case of a certain doll by the name of A or
Leggy, because I don't say a real name. Switch out the L with a P.
Yeah. Yeah, those or R or A that have life, or Chucky, right? Chucky. But this is real versus Cabbage Patch specific.
I love Cabbage Patch dolls. My Cabbage Patch doll was named Jennifer Swift.
Jennifer Swift, like off-brand Taylor.
And my plan was for her to marry the other Cabbage Patch doll, who was a boy, Jonathan Swift. As a child, I didn't put it together that they had the same last name. I'm a 5-year-old planning their wedding. Don't worry about it.
Okay, you could have two people with the same last name get married.
Okay, but they were brothers and sisters.
Oh, they were like actually made to be brother and sister?
Yeah.
Oh.
But I didn't put it together because I was like 5, so don't worry about it.
Okay. We'll just move along here. So it says, is it real or is it Cabbage Patch? This may be the greatest philosophical question of the modern age, or maybe not. Whoever wrote this is phenomenal.
I'm going off topic, but did you have Garbage Pail Kids?
No.
I was obsessed with those cards. All right, sorry, go ahead.
I was even to the point where like I wasn't allowed to have Barbies because my Barbies would get shaved and dismembered and their heads would come off, and they were held captive by my Ninja Turtles and G.I. Joes.
By you?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know if this was a sibling doing it or yourself.
Well, me and the siblings doing it.
All right.
So we were not allowed to have Barbies anymore.
I think baby Natasha needs some therapy.
Well, I mean, they were hostages. They weren't main characters.
Okay.
It's okay. It's all right. I should have been born a boy. It's okay. That was like, you know what, that you say that though. It's, baby Natasha needs help. But see, if I was born a boy, that would have been totally normal.
Shaving all the heads and
yeah, boys wouldn't do that.
Well, my brother's G.I. Joes would come and they would seize the Barbie mansion, but he wouldn't like shave their heads or anything.
Oh.
Take them hostage to He-Man Castle with Skeletor.
I love it. Yeah, maybe I was just as twisted. There have been signs. What is that show? It's something about like living with a monster or the monster, something about a monster. I don't know. My ex-husband used to watch it all the time.
I don't know that one.
Beginning of every episode, they're like, oh, well, so-and-so was like this is that. And they're like, and all this stuff. And then it's like, but there were signs. It's always what they say before they go into the story about like all the red flags that pointed to this person being a psycho, like murderer. Yeah. But there were signs. Anyway, Cabbage Patch Kids were hand-sewn cloth dolls when Xavier Roberts started making them in the late 1970s. Nowadays, they're mass-produced vinyl things. Ooh, that's gross. The catch is that you are not supposed to call them dolls. Instead, you're supposed to think of them as real babies, and you don't buy them, you adopt them. Oh, that is so creepy. Marilyn.
No, well, you got the adoption certificate in it. Did you ever have Cabbage Patch Kids?
No.
Inside, there's a little envelope you'd open up, and it was like an adoption paperwork thing. They used to have old commercials too, where they'd have like this huge Cabbage Patch thing, and the guys would be there with like tongs pulling the babies out of the cabbage leaves and packing them up like they were birthing them.
Ew.
I could see Natasha's face. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, the disgust on my face there, I think, was very prominent. So, Maryland residents Pat and Joe Posey, oh, that's funny, for example, have been raising a Cabbage Patch Kid for 19 years. Kevin, as they've named him, has his own room in their house, as well as his own college fund, just in case he ever decides to make it on his own. To entertain Kevin, the Posies take him fishing or let him watch the reruns of SpongeBob SquarePants, his favorite TV show. And when company comes over, the Posies insist Kevin to be included in the conversation. Kevin even talks back, though guests are expected to ignore that it's really Mr. Posey speaking in falsetto. This is so wrong.
Who are the guests that come over?
I'm guessing, like, if you have like friends from work or, brother, sister, family reunion, like you just bring the doll and expect everybody to like play pretend.
But would the friends continue to be friends over those years after seeing this whole living situation?
Y'all, if you see something, say something. There's resources on the website.
It's kind of sad because you'd think like coping with loss, you know what I mean? Something like that. But this is definitely
Does make sense. Okay, that makes sense. I would not have put that. I feel like if that was the case, they would have put it in here, but it doesn't mention that. But that does actually track. That makes a lot of sense. Like someone loses one and then they like replace it.
yeah, but college fund. Okay, and the fact that he's doing the voice.
That's what gets me. I mean, if you're doing the voice, then you are fully aware that this kid is not a real kid.
And his wife is behind him, like, yeah, go ahead. Good job, honey. Oh my gosh.
So then it goes on to reborn dolls. So
I remember those. Yeah.
I have no idea what this is. So if the care of feeding a Cabbage Patch Kid isn't enough for you, if you long for something even more lifelike, then you may be ready for the reborn doll. Reborn dolls are ultra true to life, down to such anatomical details as a pseudo umbilical cord. Oh my God, this is wrong.
They look so real.
You know what? I bet that's what's in this picture below here, and that looks like a fucking baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's fucked up. All right, this is wrong on so many levels. So collectors who sell these dolls on eBay, where the hobby got started, have received angry emails from people who think they're auctioning off real human babies. Oh my God, this is great. These dolls are created by hobbyists, most of whom are stay-at-home moms in the process called reborning. Quality varies, but to make a really good one, you start with a silicone vinyl doll, take it apart, remodel its mouth and nose, replace its hair with human hair. Oh my God. Paint it to give it the appearance of a newborn's veiny, translucent skin. Fill it with sand. Oh my God, this is horrible. To get that baby weight, add glass eyes and insert silicone pads to stimulate baby fat. I can't even. Finally, you name it and print out a birth certificate. The result can be so lifelike that it's eerie. Ugh.
See, if it's a child having it, I think it's really cute. But if the minute it goes into an adult's hand, it feels more like a blow-up doll situation and makes me very uncomfortable.
I feel that I would go mental health, like you said with the last one. They lose a baby or they have a stillborn baby and they cannot cope.
Or a lot of people with dementia, they have baby dolls to help, like.
Yeah. Oh, this is just that makes me want to vomit. That is wrong. And you thought me popping my legs with my Barbies was bad. At least I didn't put them back together and sell them off like real babies. Golly. That's like the gateway to human trafficking. That's the marijuana of the trafficking world. It's the gateway drug. Oh. It's like, oh, well, I could get away with it and make all this money with a fake baby. What can I do with a real baby?
Oh my gosh.
God, this is so gross. All right. So thank God that's over. During the 1970s, a Japanese roboticist named Masahiro Mori
Perfect.
tested people's responses to an anthropomorphic robot. God, what he discovered was that people easily formed emotional attachments to robots that didn't look like humans at all. They also bonded with robots that were indistinguishable from humans, but robots that were in between, that were almost human, triggered strong negative reactions. People were creeped out by them, and he referred to them, or this response, as uncanny valley. And what was true with these robots is true with dolls. People readily bond with dolls that are obviously fake, just as they bond with real babies. But almost human dolls make our skin crawl. Ya think? God, that's where I'm at. Not everybody's skin, of course. That's weird. That's a weird sentence. Some people love reborn dolls, and collectors pay thousands of dollars for top quality. What? Okay, true enthusiasts hug them, pamper them, and dress them in cute baby outfits, treating these dolls as they would treat real human babies. The enthusiasts say fills the void in their lives. To each his own, but should you ever find yourself in the position similar to the Posies, which is Cabbage Patch Kevin's guardians, drifting dangerously close to that thin line separating you from dollish fantasy, just splash some cold water on your face and repeat the following words. Dolls are not real babies. Dolls are not real babies. And that's the end of that one. That is, oh, I literally am just like cringe. Like, that is so wrong.
I'm so torn on so many things because I feel like you said it could be a gateway to bad things, but it could be very therapeutic on the other end for people
Yeah.
that need it. I don't
just-
know how to feel.
It's the extent that the extreme these people go to create this lifelike baby. So you get a baby doll, you basically dissect it, you stuff it with sand. I mean, what do we make it, a golem?
Well, it feels like a real baby. Like if you've ever held one, it really feels real.
Put the pads in and it's just, so my thing is how do they put the fat thingies in and like dissect it and put it back together and not make it look like Franken baby?
Well, if they're dropping thousands of dollars on it, they probably have special surgeons.
Like legit rubber surgeons.
A doctor certified in reborn doll surgery.
Nurse, scalpel. And you just have a row. Okay. Oh my gosh. Like the old timey where you had the audience watching in the surgery center.
Yes.
They're all Cabbage Patch dolls.
I'd be there watching the surgery alongside. I love
You've
Cabbage
got
Patch
Kevin
dolls.
in the sideline eating popcorn.
Hey, I wonder what Kevin's college fund is at. He might be able to get a good girl off of that.
Hey, that is a good point. And like,
There's
okay.
someone out there for everyone, right?
My thing is Kevin never grows.
Mm-hmm.
So that's concerning. And if your purpose is to raise this child into a functional adult who's then going to essentially or potentially go off and get married, have children.
I can just picture his father voicing, being like, I didn't eat my vegetables.
Give it to me, baby. I can't do it. My mom's in the other room.
Oh my gosh.
Like, how would you stage a date?
He'd have a reborn doll over.
Oh God, it's getting worse. At least the Cabbage Patch. Just make sure I never had one. They don't have like anatomically correct.
No, they're like
right.
They're like floppy in between, like Raggedy Ann doll kind of thing with right on their butt cheek. They have that signature.
Parent sign for a tattoo. I got ink, baby. I'm a bad boy. That just came out really weird. That's not how I intended that to come out, but I meant bad as like a motorcycle bad, not like a dirty bad. Jesus.
But I can also see a lot of people loving it because people like to collect some weird things. Like,
That's
in
true.
What Does It Harm? I used to love to collect those troll dolls. And those things were so ugly, they were cute.
Yes,
I loved
did
them.
those and Beanie Babies.
I never got into the Beanie Baby fad, but I know a lot of people that did. And they'd be like, oh, that's the special edition walrus or whatever.
Well, mine was more so, I was in gymnastics when I was little, and we would travel all over the place because we were on a competitive gymnastics team.
Mm-hmm.
And every time we had a meet, my mom would buy me a Beanie Baby.
Oh, that's cute.
So I ended up with a collection of them. I used to have collector's Barbie dolls, but my mom had to hide them, so we didn't disfigure them.
Oh my gosh.
My grandmother would buy them for me.
There were signs.
Yeah, there were signs. But there were signs. I think it's American Monster is what the show's called.
Okay, I don't think I ever saw that.
Okay, well, I think it's on like A&E, maybe.
All right.
So, yeah. Oh my God, I still can't get past. Okay, the ones that treat the doll like it is real is picking a doll that is very obviously not real. I mean, what'd they do? Like, shit their pants when these other creepy dolls came out? I mean, how did they not realize? I mean, did they get Kevin a Karen or a Kathy or something, and like preferably out of a different gene pool, unlike you, um, to like be his girlfriend. I mean, how does that work? And then was Mrs. Posey being the voice of her? Because then it could just be like this whole like make believe, kind of like playing The Sims, right? So you have like this makeshift doll for him and a makeshift doll for her. So it's like they can act out their whatever with these dolls.
That's really creepy.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, it didn't say anything about them suffering any type of trauma.
Nope.
Like no losing a child, nothing like that.
It didn't say anything.
Because if that was the case, I could see it as like, you know how like in other cultures, well, maybe in this culture too, they make like the mourning dolls with like, they'll put some of the child's hair on it to feel close to them forever. Like that's kind of
Yeah.
sweet, but without having a loss and just keeping this doll around, that's so weird.
I mean, now I will say, I mean, most people who have children, you've got a book somewhere, or at least anybody who was born in the 90s, there's a book somewhere with your hair and your teeth in it, just floating around, collecting dust on some shelf. But that's different than like playing house and like it is a huge, like start again, fucking college fund. This kid, this Cabbage Patch has more money than I do. This is horseshit.
And it's a couple. It's not like just one person suffering from
Yeah.
dementia that's like, oh, this is my, you know what I mean?
Or maybe it's, I mean, maybe it was the husband and the wife's just going along with it because maybe the therapist is like, just let him have it. Like, because if he's under this, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the
Delusion. I don't know.
yeah, this delusion. Thank you. If he's having this delusion and this is what's going on, like if the wife were to try to correct him, it could break him mentally.
Yeah.
More so than he already is, obviously. But sometimes if somebody does have a delusion and they break from their version of reality, it can have severe consequences for them.
So strange because it could have so many reasons why they're keeping it and why they're doing it, and a lot of them are not good.
Mm-hmm. It's like, and then to me, it's with those creepy, you're putting real people hair in these baby dolls. You're reforming their sucking mouths.
Yeah.
Why would you need to do that?
Again, it can go complete polar opposite reasons, like either really good or really bad.
I mean, if it's a baby doll, remember those baby dolls that they made? I was like in the 2000s, and they had the little bottle. There's like an orange juice and a milk, and you like put the baby, like the bottle in the baby's mouth, and it would like somehow make the liquid disappear.
A magic trick, which we will never understand how it works.
How the fuck does that work? Turn it over and it's back. I was like, what?
Nothing spilled? What? Do you remember the babies that you'd feed them and
Poop would come
they'd
out?
poop? Yeah, what were those?
Yeah,
it was like orange poop came out of them and then you just refeed them again.
Yeah. Like,
was it Oopsie Daisy? No.
I don't remember what they were called. With the dolls with the bottles though, I mean, I used to get confused because you couldn't make the stupid shit disappear. It had to be in the baby's mouth for it to disappear. And I was like, well, how is this working? And I remember trying to like dissect mine to figure out how it worked. I just apparently have a problem with dissection. But I did. I used to cut my Barbies open because I wanted to know how their joints bent. Because I had some that they actually bent.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't figure out why some of the Barbies did and some of the Barbies didn't. So I would cut their legs open and their arms
instead of just
open.
being like, Ma, how come? And half of these are from Dollar Tree and the other ones are real ones.
Because I didn't trust anyone, man. I wanted to figure out how it worked. I was a very analytical person at a very young age.
All right.
And some things don't change. I still very much am like, hey, let's take it apart, figure out how it works, put it back together. Like, I just like doing that. I want to know how it works, why it works. You know, can you make it better? Whatever. I did give her Band-Aids when I put her back together, though.
How kind of you.
I know. Oh my gosh, there was an episode of, God, what was it? Was it House? I think it was House, where they had the guy that was really sick and he had the very realistic, he kept saying he had a girlfriend.
I never watched House.
And like, so they go to the guy's house because they're like, oh, he says he's got a girlfriend, you know, but we can't, you know, no one's ever met her, blah, blah, blah. But he's like very adamant. And so they go to his apartment to search for what could be causing his illness, probably
Mhm.
illegally, because it always was illegally. And they're like, oh, like there's like a dozen roses on the counter to so and so from so and so. And they're like, maybe he does have a girlfriend. Maybe she's just not home. And like love letters that he would write her. And they're like, oh, okay, maybe he does have a girlfriend. Cool. And then they walk in his room and there's this extremely realistic sex doll. That was his
Ah.
girlfriend. He dressed her, he fed her, like treated her like a human, would buy her gifts and like give them to her. It was his theory was he was not good with people. He was a very socially awkward man, and he came across this doll. It was like a $15,000 sex doll, very custom made, everything. And she was made out of like I think it was like certain type of silicone and everything. It wasn't like one of those like blow up dolls. I mean, it was like a real. I mean, she looked real,
Mhm.
and um, he just said that he tried talking to real women and he either got like berated or embarrassed or humiliated or he couldn't handle the repeated rejection, so he ordered himself a girlfriend and they would sit and watch movies. He would talk to her, tell her all of his secrets because she was, quote unquote, a good listener.
Well, that's way better than being a serial killer.
True. But I remember there was a pocket. They did like a CT scan or something stupid on this doll, and they were afraid there was mold or something in the doll that was making him sick. And
Mhm.
there was like this pocket of air, and they had to do like they were like, well, let's cut this pocket open.
Ugh.
But they had to get consent. This guy was losing his shit because they had to like they were treating it like it was a doll, not like a human. And so they ended up to make because of his delusion. Well, it wasn't really a delusion. He knew that she was a doll, but it was just like in his head. It was very confusing. Anyway, so they take a scalpel, they take her into like a surgery room, cut her open, remove
With
the air.
signed consent.
Yes, like with the little air pocket and like got the stuff out of the air pocket and tested it, and they sewed her back together, like with stitches, and put a band-aid on her for his benefit.
Okay.
And they were like, surgery was great. They brought her in on a wheelchair. It was weird. It was very weird, but there's people out there that do that. And I mean, I'm not going to yuck their yum. I mean, as long as it's not like creepy, like a baby doll, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's weird to me, but you're not harming anybody.
Yeah, you're not hurting anything. You're getting what you need. You're feeling good about better about yourself. Everybody's different.
Not procreating.
Yeah, everybody's different. And so, I mean, I wouldn't drop 15 grand on a sex doll, but that's just me. But I still can't get over the freaking creepy ass baby where they would sew real shit into this baby and like put the weight in to be like oh, that is so, I'm with them. I feel that if it is very obviously fake, it is not a real baby. It does not look like a real baby. It is a lot easier to accept. But when they started going into these very realistic babies, like that's when shit gets creepy.
I keep thinking about I don't know if you remember the Anatoly Moskovin case.
Mm-mm.
He was a Russian guy that was obsessed with cemeteries and he kept digging up little girls and making them into dolls and he had like tons of them around his house when he was found.
Ew.
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah. I covered him a while back. I don't know if you listened to it.
I'm still like, I just can't.
But he has this warped of thing like he's saving them. Like
Yeah,
that was his mentality. Like I'm taking them, I'm giving them life again, I'm making them happy.
I do that with animal bones, but I don't make them into an animal. Or who is that guy? I think you covered this guy. He met the girl of his dreams or whatever, but she was like sick. And
Oh,
so he took care of her, but then she died. So he was like putting like piping into places so that he could,
yeah.
and like keeping this like wig and like wrapping her and stuff and like would like dance with her and all this stuff.
Oh, I can't think of his
After she
name.
died, like he dug her up.
He gave himself like titles as like Count and this and that, but I can't remember his
Yeah.
name.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
like the
that was
parents were like, "Oh my gosh, thank goodness she found someone who's gonna like pay all her medical expenses and all of that." So they just like
the,
let it go.
the weirdest part of that story was after she passed, he went to her parents' house and was like, hey, can I have some of her hair? And the parents were like, sure, here. And they gave him a whole bunch of her hair. Which, why did the parents have a bunch of her hair? And why would you just give it to this guy?
Okay. I don't remember where the story took place, but I can say that there are hair is very important in a lot of cultures.
To give to a random person?
If that was the love of her life and she married him,
She didn't. She
or
didn't like
dated
him.
if
She never dated him. She was
well,
like, get away from me.
I thought eventually she like gave in because he was paying for her shit.
No, he paid for her stuff and followed her around, but she never dated him.
But I'm just saying, I can see in some sense, you can look at it one of two ways. Either one, the hair is very important, like the lifeline. Like you have religions where you do not cut your hair, period. You just never cut your hair. Like if you cut your hair, you're essentially like disbanded. You're shunned. Because the whole, your life is connected to your hair or your soul is connected to your hair. I don't know how, but whatever. To each their own. And then you have voodoo dolls. One of the best things you could do for witchcraft or any type of thing would be to have a lock of hair, right?
Right.
Which is interesting because they say, usually you want something with like a DNA, but if you just like cut your hair at the end, it doesn't have your DNA. So that's kind of ironic. But beliefs are beliefs. But there are a lot where locks of hair are important. I mean, hell, I could go right now and I could chop this off and make money off my hair just because other people want it to wear on their own heads, which if you think about it, sounds really morbid.
Not really. They do like locks of love and stuff when your hair is so long,
but
you
I'm
cut the
saying,
braids. And
to me, cutting another human's hair and wearing it on your head is weird. Like if I got a wig, I probably would not want human hair.
And I don't know if I could even do horse hair because it's too close to their butt for my comfort.
Well, I would just hope that they're cutting it off the mane.
But there's
and
no guarantee. You don't know where it's coming from.
That's true.
And you're probably not getting full mane. You're probably getting half tail hair, part that. You don't know.
True. Okay, you got a good point. I never thought of that. I never thought of that. Way to ruin that for me. I guess horse hair's out now. But it's like, but then again, I struggle with organ donation. I mean, on one hand, it's great that these people are surviving, but they do say that like the DNA from whoever you are getting, it merges with yours. You are no longer just you. You are you and another person.
Those cases are weird when you like fall in love with the same person or have some of the same habits once you've gotten like a heart transplant or something that the donor had.
Yep. Or those people that I can't remember what they're called. There's a word for them. To me, this blows my mind because it really happens and it sounds so sci-fi. In utero, there could be an egg that goes to split into twins, or the two are in there. Anyway, there's two fetuses in there and they absorb into one. When they are born, that person has two sets of DNA. Their saliva and their sperm do not have the same DNA.
Every single time they don't?
No, this is just, it's a weird anomaly that happens. Not every twin, because there's a lot of people that like absorb their twin and it's not a big deal. But I remember there was at least one case where this guy all the evidence pointed to this man being responsible for like this like assault and murder. But they tested his DNA via swab because that's how they do it. And it didn't match. And they're like, there's no way it is not this man. And it took him a while. And eventually I think somebody it was like either blood draw or like, I think it was either blood draw or sperm donation. Somehow they got the other and then it matched out of the same man that they just like, they even re-swabbed him and the swab was negative again. But the blood work was
It's a good SVU case.
Yeah. And there's a word for them and it's very, very, very rare, but it does happen. And that's just weird. It's super weird.
Yeah.
But I guess that's all I got.
Well, that was very interesting. I don't know how I feel about all of this.
Yeah, I'm still digesting. I can't get past the fake babies. I can't get past the realistic fake babies.
Yeah, see, I would never go out and buy one of them, but I don't knock somebody if they had some kind of loss or needed them for emotional support. But I 100% would go and buy a Cabbage Patch doll tomorrow if I saw one that I liked.
Now, imagine you go to you meet this couple and they've got this baby.
Me and Kevin are getting hitched.
No. They've got one of those creepy babies.
Oh.
And they've like got it swaddled or something. And you're like, oh, let me see your baby. And they hand you this baby and it's a fuck-sucking baby. Like, what do?
You give it back, politely walk away.
But you know what I mean? Like, if they're like, oh, yeah, this is our, son and blah, 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 blah. And he's 3 months old, yada, yada. And you're like, oh, can I hold him? And they're like, yeah, sure. And then they hand it to you and it's like just a baby doll. Like, how do you respond?
Hey, bye.
Like, oh, he's so cute. Here, you can have him back. And then like do that Homer Simpson into the like shrubbery.
Yes.
Nope.
Gotta go. I have a lot of people that know where I am.
Yeah, right. I've got Live Seat 360. I share my location with 50 people. I'm on a live stream. You're
My
camera.
big boyfriend is around the corner. He's super strong.
All I gotta do is say the safe word, and he's here. Oh
He
my
knows
god!
karate. Yeah.
Oh, that is too funny. But all right, well, go home and kiss your babies, I guess. Real or fake, do your whatever. Just none of that creepy shit, man. If you see something, say something. And again, give people help if they need help. There are resources, people. There are resources.
And remember, clean your sex dolls.
Oh, yes. Very thoroughly clean the sex dolls. All holes all the time, man. But I guess until next time, everybody, we'll see ya.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. If you need more content or just want to help support the podcast, head on over to patreon.com and search Ouch, Was That a Ghost? If you need some snazzy merch, you can find it at crowdmade.com by searching Ouch, Was That a Ghost? If you have a story you'd like to share, you can email it to ouchwasthataghost@yahoo.com. You can also find us on Facebook and all the other social media platforms under Ouch, Was That a Ghost?
Help me.
All links can also be found on ouchwasthataghost.com.